Welcome to Practically Political. I'm Dave Spencer.
And I'm Carrie Sheffield. Thanks for joining us. Dave, all right, so China has tested a hypersonic missile in August. We just found out it orbited the globe before heading toward its target. China has been also rattling the saber about seizing Taiwan. What should the U.S. do in response? It appears that, our intelligence sources were clueless about this, and China says they're emboldened about our failure in Afghanistan. What's the solution?
Well, first of all, I would say I don't think China's been emboldened by our failure in Afghanistan. They might have enjoyed it from a Schadenfreude perspective because we made fools of ourselves, but from a geopolitical perspective, they were much more secure when we were there. But to answer your question, let's take a step back and say,
not sure I agree with that.
Okay, well, anyway, that's okay. But China, the thing that emboldened China the most was the greatest gift they ever got, and that's when the former president canceled the Trans-Pacific Partnership, because that was set up to have 40% of the world's economy address 18,000 tariffs and quotas. And it was specifically designed to counter China, as well as the other thing that China loves is inconsistency and acquiescence. And there was plenty of that last time where the former president criticized Xi one time. A month later, he's praising him. And then, I say this with incredulity every time, he said the Uyghur concentration camps were a good idea. And then you had those tariffs, which were really taxes on working people. But to answer your question, the way to address China is strength. And that should be done through financial, okay? And so, for example, when they're selling oil to North Korea, we should sanction the banks that are taking that money in. They're also laundering money. I think we should address the Olympics. We shouldn't boycott the Olympics with our athletes because that doesn't work, as Moscow in 1980 proved. But I do think that we should have businesses boycott the Olympics. They'll get a lot of bad press. And I think it's the way to hit them is financially. And also because they respond to strength, not to weakness. So that's the way to handle dealing with China. And I think we also have to make sure that our presence is very strong in the not only the South China Sea, but the area around Taiwan. So I disagreed with pulling an aircraft carrier away from there. I think we should have a couple of aircraft carriers there. And we should also try to return back to when the China-Taiwan system worked the best. And that was when there's ambiguity, because China and Taiwan need each other. Your thoughts?
Well, I think that the Trump administration, they put the designation of what was happening with the Uyghurs as genocide. And that was a monumental decision. And I know personally, I interviewed the head of the Uyghur government in exile. He was very grateful to the Trump administration. He was very pro-Trump administration. So everything that Mike Pompeo did on that front, they believed that the U.S. was signaling strength on that front. And I'm going to give Biden credit. You heard it here first, Dave. I'm giving credit to Biden about what he did with the deal that he made with Canada and the government of Australia. I think the way that he went behind France's back was sloppy. I think there was a way that they could have done that in a way that would have brought them more on board, because unfortunately, not only France, but Germany and the UK has come on more on our side a bit, but Europe is asleep at the wheel when it comes to the systemic threat and the national security and the global security threat of China. So I'd like to see more from the Biden administration on that front, but I will give him credit on that. But I think he's doing that because he saw the strength of what the former administration was doing against China. And he knows that if he's not strong against China, the voters, they're upset at China and they want strength too. So I think we agree. Strength is the key word.
Yeah, and I'm also being the pragmatist. I think the Biden administration has hurt themselves because they were very critical of China policies, particularly the tariffs, which are not the way to go during the campaign, and yet they've kept them all in place. So I think that appears to seem weak.